This is Schumann Roundabout, and this is the heart of Brussels. Behind me is the EU's Council building, which is where in December 2012 it was decided that something needed to be done about the European security and defence situation. It was realised that the continent faced the twin threats of less money but more emerging security threats. It was decided to write a report under the services of Ashton, who's the High Representative and also the head of the External Action Service, which is based in that building there. She's also the head of the European Defence Agency, and just for good measure is also the Vice President of the European Commission, which is based in that building there. On December the 19th this year, the EU leaders will gather again in the Council building to discuss the report and to see how they can put its recommendations into reality.
The report highlights three key areas: increasing operational effectiveness, improving defence capabilities, and strengthening Europe's defence industry.
One of the recommendations contained within the report is that the EU could partner more with other international organisations, such as the UN, the African Union, and of course, NATO.
Those who have served in military operations know how much of a difference more collaboration between the EU and NATO could make. I asked Vice Admiral Rino Veri, who was in command of the maritime component of Operation Unified Protector in Libya in 2011, how much a difference more collaboration between the two organisations would make.
It would help a lot. It would help a lot. Everybody's saying it, but it's a truth. It's a fact.
There's already a series of agreements dating back years on how the two organisations can collaborate, with the two organisations' headquarters lying just a few kilometres from each other in Brussels. And with 22 out of 28 countries being members of both NATO and the EU, one could be forgiven for thinking that collaboration should be easy. Yet many concede there is a lot more potential for collaboration between NATO and the EU. But they also warn against possible duplication of tasks.
I'm really convinced of the fact that we should absolutely avoid the duplication. For instance, we had a counter-piracy operation which was Atalanta. In fact, an operation of the European Union as a whole, but at the same time we had the Operation Ocean Shield that was fostered by NATO. That's duplication, that's something that we should avoid.
Many roads on how to improve EU-NATO collaboration lead to Turkey. The entry of a divided Cyprus into the European Union in 2004 was not supported by Turkey. The problems and issues that this raised have remained largely unresolved, and few would deny that this has impacted on NATO-EU relations.
Well, when you describe them, you could say that there's much more to be achieved. There are some political constraints, and I know that one of the constraints is the situation that we see as the Cyprus issue. And therefore we have to resolve that once and for all. And once that is done, I think then all the, let's say, the cooperation between the two institutions could progress in a much quicker way.
But there could be light at the end of this tunnel.
It's within our grasp to have a solution. And if we do so, this will open up many avenues, not only between EU and NATO, but with our perspective for EU membership as well. So we have the incentive for, of course, a solution on the Cyprus issue, and we think that now there's a new government and a new way of thinking, and they are under very lot of pressure because of the economic situation. They have an incentive to solve this issue as well. And if that is done, and we believe that this can be done within a year's time, then all this talk about NATO-EU problems will just evaporate.
If this issue is resolved and the EU Council gives a full and ringing endorsement to more focus on defence and increased collaboration with organisations such as NATO, then a new period of joined-up defence for Europe could be about to begin.